Yeah, I wear a fez now. Fezzes are cool. Hey everybody, it's Mark W. Gray, and this is another of a hopefully continuing series of how to make things. This is a fez. This is a bona fide fez. I got this many years ago at a fraternal supply house, which I had to look in the yellow pages to find. That's how long ago it was. They sold me the fez that was sized to my head, but they wouldn't sell me this crest. I had to make this cool crest. I made up the lodge too, Artanis. Pretty cool. But if you want to do your Doctor Who cosplay, you don't want one that has gold on the front or a big tassel or anything else like that. You want a proper red sort of generic fez. And I'll show you how to make it right here in this cool video about how to make a fez.
Hey, what are you doing down there?
I'm making a fez video, Hans.
A fez video? Okay, if you say so.
Well, come down and say hi.
I guess. Give me a second.
Well, put your fez on. I want to show it off.
Oh, for God's sake.
It'll be right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Hans von Puppet.
Hello, my friends. I'm Professor Hans von Puppet.
No, they know who you are. I just wanted to show off your fez.
Oh, yeah, the fez. It's nice, isn't it? Don't you think? I wear it for my cosplay as Doctor Who when I go to Comic-Con. I'm already halfway there with the brown suit, you see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all the Whovian girls, they love it. I was surprised you could find a fez in my size, honestly.
I didn't find it. I made it.
You made it?
Yes.
No.
Really? I was just making a video explaining how to do it.
Well, that is amazing. Is there no end to your skills, Mr. Gray? Okay, well, I leave you to it then. Goodbye, folks. Be sure to subscribe to this guy. He's very clever.
Well,
ciao for now.
All right, thanks, Hans. I'll see you later.
My pleasure. Anytime.
All right, the first thing you need is a pattern. It's just sort of a cone, like a smiley face piece of paper, and then a circle for the top. And you sew those together and you've got a fez. Now, how do you create this pattern? Well, you could go through a lot of trial and error yourself, or you could watch this video that I made about how to come up with the perfect fez pattern for your specific head. Click on that and you can go watch that video right now. And this video will pause and it'll be right here for the rest of the instructional when you get back, okay? Hit it. Okay, welcome back. Now you can make your fez out of anything you want. I've got this red corduroy fabric that I want to use. It'll work pretty well. It's kind of flimsy though, that's the thing. It's not quite stiff enough to be a fez. So you've got to attach it to something called fusible interfacing. That's what you ask for at the fabric shop. That's this stuff right here. It's just stiff fabric, it comes in different thicknesses, that is heat transferable, and you iron it on to the back of your fabric. I want to transfer our pattern to the interfacing. Okay, that's this bit that goes around your head. And then we can take the circle out of this part over here. Try to leave as much as you can. There's an old carpentry saying, keep it as long as you can for as long as you can. All right, and then you want to cut it out. I like using these rolling cutters, which work really well. They're kind of like pizza cutters, and you can just roll like that, and it goes right over. But this fabric is kind of like paper, so it's easy to cut. So I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife to cut it out. And of course, I always have my cutting board here, which is this Frisker's mat, which I can put anything on and cut with an X-Acto knife or this rolling cutter, and it saves my table and it saves my blade, and it just works great. Of course, you could cut this out with scissors too. You don't have to go and buy a $30 cutting board. But if you're gonna do a lot of crafts, I'm telling you, a cutting board is a really handy thing to get on hand. Because you can cut things out as if you're drawing with a pencil. It's kind of amazing. Voila! This stuff has really easy instructions. It just says use a hot, dry iron. I want to cut it out and leave just enough. When you sew things together, you sew like a ½ inch from the edge, and then you trim that off. So where the edge of my pattern was is the exact dimensions of the fez, and that's the exact dimensions of this fusible stuff. So I want to leave enough fabric to be able to sew it together with the seam. Okay, so when you look at the fez, the body of it is all got the fusible stuff, but then the seam that's tucked under is just fabric. So it'll be a perfect shape. Okay, so just got to cut off and leave about, ½ inch. I'm going to use the cutter wheel. So now we pin it together and sew it together. Basically just line up the sides like this and then pin across the seam. Okay, then we'll just sew right down that line and we'll go through the fabric, but we'll miss the interfacing, I think. Let's try it. Nothing fancy. There we have it. So that's sewed together there, see? And that's the extra bit on the inside there. The tricky part is we've got to attach this together so that it works. Now, based on our pattern, it should just fit perfectly. So if you just line it up like that and just pin across the seam, it'll look all funky, but once we sew it together, it'll work. I like to go like 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock and pin there first, and then just carry on around filling in the gaps. People are afraid of sewing, but it's really not that hard. People think, oh, I could never sew, but you know, it's easy. You think, oh, I'm a dude, how can I sew? It's all girly. That's not girly. It's just a tool. It's like a chainsaw or a forklift or something, you know. It's just something else to learn how to operate with its own set of rules and its own set of difficulties, you know. And you just got to try it, because only by screwing up a few things is how you learn how to do it. All right, let's see if we can sew that together. You know, it's going to be easier to sew inside this than over the top of it. So I think I want to switch all the pins to the inside, going the other way. So that's all pinned together like that now, so I can sew it, and let's see how it turns out. One of the keys of sewing is to keep an eye on what's going on underneath to make sure that you don't sew more layers than you mean to. Take the pins out and we cut the extra fabric off this seam. Got to be careful not to then cut the part of your hat that you want to keep, though. And then we turn it right side out, and basically that's our fez. And there it is. Then we can actually press it out and make it a bit smoother. But, you know, that's the size of it. I'm going to take this extra edge and fold it over and sew that down so it has a nice finished edge as well. Back inside out for that. And it just wants to fold nicely right over the edge of the interfacing. Sewing is easy. It's the cutting and pinning that's a big pain in the ass. It's like when you paint your house. Painting with the roller, that's a piece of cake. But it's the taping and the cleaning and the laying down of drop cloths and everything. That's what takes forever. But without that, it would be a sloppy mess. The more you know. All right, nice and neat. We just turn it right side out. Fluff it up a little bit. And there is our Comic-Con ready Doctor Who fez, nice and light for those San Diego summers. Fezzes are cool. Be sure to click like on this video if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see more things like this. And be sure to watch Professor Puppet, who wears a fez all the time. And if you haven't watched it yet, click right there for the fez math video that shows you how to make the pattern. See you soon.